Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego diddling. We do so because the chains of oppression from people's minds are deep and difficult to remove.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. Yeah, we had a little difficulty getting in the building today, but it's all good because we here now. Like I said, when we in here, we always on time. That's right. Hey, listen, coming up on July 20th at the Delaware History Museum and Mitchell Center for African American Heritage, that's at 504 North Market Street, will be the release of Murder Town, USA, Homicide, Structural Violence, and Activism. Murder Town, USA, by Yasser Arafat Payne, Brooklyn K. Hitchens, and Dow L. Chambers. This is the book that tells the story of Dr. Payne and his team's research on violence in Wilmington. Don't want to miss this book talk. It will be on July 20th, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Like I say, it's going to be a book talk at the Delaware History Museum and Mitchell Center. Murder Town, USA. Structural Violence and Activism in Wilmington. Join us. WHGE 95.3 FM. Let me get my disclaimer off the way, and then we're going to get them started. All right.
The views and opinions expressed on the Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are they not intended to malign any company or individual.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. I'm your third eye optometrist. Our intellectual surgeon, Nsoromma, is getting our Facebook feed set up. All right. And I'm going to get them started here. All right. Good morning, Nsoromma. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, God.
Yeah, your mic is on. Chop. All right. Look.
Yo.
And I got this, I think I'm going to start opening up with this, too.
Okay.
Every generation has its purpose. Ours is to reveal the truth and reverse the brainwashing. You listen to the opening of the Open Eye. The chains of oppression on our people's minds are deep and difficult to remove.
Yeah.
It's up to us to reverse the brainwashing.
That's what's up. That's definitely.
Because you know what?
What?
Racism is so American that when we protest racism, the average American assumes we're protesting America. That's how deeply ingrained this crap is in America. Mm-hmm. And keeping it moving. Be skilled in speech so that you will succeed. The tongue of a man is his sword, and effective speech is stronger than all fighting. None can overcome the skillful. A wise person is a school for the nobles, and those who are aware of his knowledge do not attack him. No evil takes place when he is near. Truth comes to him in its essential form, shaped in the sayings of the ancestors. That's from the Book of Keth.
And you know, that's the motto. The pen more mightier than the sword, right?
That's word.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. And you know what? I'll tell you something. Like my man said, you know, one of the things we consider ourselves wordsmiths. Okay, of course,
right.
My partner here is an MC, lyricist, rapper, musician, and what have you.
True.
You know, and I'm a writer, and you know, he said, you know, the pen is mightier than the sword. And a writer like myself would say, you know, the claymore has more strength than the quill. What I said.
Say it again.
Or rather, the quill has more strength than the claymore. And what I just basically said,
what?
Get out your thesaurus. I just now said.
Thesaurus?
yeah. I just now said the pen is mightier than the sword. That's all I basically said.
Same thing.
The same thing. The same thing. That's where, and it's something where words can take you.
Right.
Because,
and that's how they usually talk to us. They be talking to us in a different language when you go to court and all of that, and you don't really know what they talking about, and and you agree to it or plead to it, and now you doing time.
And next thing you know, your ass sitting in jail because you didn't know what they was talking about.
Exactly. They be talking Latin or something.
There's a lot of Latin in, legalese, as they call it. Yeah, you got to learn to speak legalese. That's why they usually say, the guy that acts as his own lawyer is a fool.
Especially if you don't know the language.
That's right. That's right. You get somebody to know what the hell they're saying, so he know how to respond to them, so that your ass don't wind up doing time for something that you didn't do.
Wow.
Because they're going to plea bargain your ass anyway.
Yep.
Or they're going to try to, but if you got a righteous attorney, you're going to, you might make out all right. Be careful with who you get, though. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. We still with you.
Yo, what's up, Vaughn, Tracy, Steven, Miss Bob? What's good, bro? What's good? Cousin John, what's happening? Damon, I see you, baby boy. Yo, keep going. Keep your head up high, boy. High. Yeah. Hey, yeah. And we got some Sherry. All right. Jordale, okay. I see y'all, you know what I'm saying? I ain't seen you on the motor Saturday or two, but yeah, I've been doing some other things, you dig? Working on it, you know what I'm saying? Working on it.
Yo, big ups to Jill Scott. I'm Patrice Gibbs. Yes, indeed. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building.
Yes, indeed. Just to give you an idea, and I say big ups to Jill Scott for carrying on the tradition of Nina Simone and Billie Holiday.
Right.
Because Jill Scott redid the lyrics of the national anthem. Just to give you an idea. I'm not going to try to sing it. I don't want people tuning out.
Right. Just say it.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it. She said, she sang in her beautiful voice.
Right.
Oh, can you see by the blood in the streets that this place doesn't smile on you, colored child, whose blood built this land with sweat, blood, and hand.
Yeah.
But we'll die in this place and our memory erased.
Yeah.
Oh, say does this truth hold weight? This is not the land of the free,
right,
but the home of the slaves. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yo.
Big ups.
Yaga.
Big ups. Yeah, that's word.
But you won't see that on the news.
Oh, no.
You won't get that on ABC, CNN, and NBC, and you ain't gonna see all of that on there.
No, you're not.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's word. And something this brings me around to the great Billie Holiday. I remember when I started listening to Billie Holiday.
Right.
I had heard some people, and I was probably 12, 13 years old when I started listening to Billie. And before I did, I heard people say, well, Billie is an acquired taste. I think I was around 12 or 13 when the movie Lady Sings the Blues came out. Right. It was about Billie Holiday's life, starring Diana Ross, who did really a great job in that movie because she was actually nominated for an Oscar. Yeah. Big ups, Diana.
Yeah, she did play that part.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. John Swed,
95.3.
the former director of the Center for Jazz Studies at Columbia University, said Holiday had a mysterious nature about her. He emphasized by her many contradictions. For instance, Swed said she would often sing the same song differently depending on the day or the audience, something that today's pop stars likely couldn't get away with. In both her live and recorded performances, she would sing off beat. Her voice, too, was both unique and limited compared to other notable singers of the era, like Dinah Washington and Joe Stafford.
Right.
Swag said that Holiday had one of the narrowest ranges of any singer. Okay? But her singing was so passionate, and it gave you such a feeling, it would blow your mind. She only had an octave and a half. And most of us probably have more than an octave, and half of us if we were forced to sing.
Right.
Before Holiday, this approach to singing wasn't desirable. Okay? Experts have noted it's as if her rise marked a pre-Holiday and a post-Holiday era in jazz history.
Okay.
Things like that broke the mold and showed people it was possible to do it. You admire people who don't follow the rules and still succeed. You know, she could sing like another instrument in the band and also interpret lyrics with the haunting eloquence, subtlety, and truth of a great dramatic actress, Billie Holiday. And you know, it's something...
Big ups, Billie Holiday.
Yeah. It's something that the song Strange Fruit was directly responsible for her death. For those of you that don't know Strange Fruit, just to give you an idea, okay? This is some of the lyrics from the song. Southern trees bear strange fruit. Blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Go on YouTube and look up Strange Fruit. And I'm going to tell you. Okay. I'm going to tell you that Strange Fruit, which was a poem actually written by a Jewish guy, okay, and she put it to music, and the government actually demanded that she stop singing that song. All right, this was in the 40s and 50s. And
why you think the government demanded her to stop singing that song?
I mean, the lyrics say it all.
Right.
Strange Fruit.
And now they still controlling our narrative that we get in from the media. They still doing that. Because right now, if an artist was to try to write something and say something like that, it wouldn't get no play. Period. None.
That's where it would get no airplay, just like Nsoromma said. You know, if you bring along conscious music, the damnedest thing they do, they try to shut you down.
Yeah.
What other racial group has music that degrades their own race? That talks about shooting and killing each other?
There's really none.
There's none.
Yeah.
There's none. You know?
And if they are doing it, they just doing it for the fad.
Yeah.
And, and it's not really getting airplay like that for everybody to hear it like that. You know what I'm saying? But they pump it to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
they pump the degradation in the music to our people.
Yeah.
You know,
our kids
and what have you. You know, even though I'm a jazz fan, when I tuned into hip hop in the early '80s, actually it was like the early mid '70s,
70, 72, 75.
Yeah, it was probably around 74, 75, and that was only because my grandfather lived in Brooklyn, so I was in New York during my teenage years, what had quite a bit. Okay, so I got to see the beginnings of hip hop. But what I'm coming around to is the hip hop that I really dug, that really came to the forefront with me, was a conscious hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, like Public Enemy and X-Clan.
Yeah.
You know, as a matter of fact, I'm proud to say, and it always tripped me out, maybe it shouldn't have, considering her mindset.
Right.
But Public Enemy was my mom's favorite rap group.
Oh, well, mine too, basically.
I heard that.
Fight the Fire was like the #1 jam.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed. But her favorite song was Black Steel and the Hour of Chaos.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the first time I played it for her, she said, run that back.
Letter from the government?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
I got a letter from the government.
Listen, if they were still around right now, a lot of the music that's going on right now would be squashed out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing. That when they took and destroyed that, because they really destroyed it in the real media. You got no self-conscious, no self-righteous music that inspires you to be a better you. You know what I'm saying?
That's for damn sure.
And if they got the power to do that, just think what the power they got to do.
Yeah, I heard that. You know what? Speaking of music that inspires, WHGE 95.3 FM, Nsoromma, my city.
Yo, what's good, y'all? Hey, be easy. Ain't nothing. Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Samaya, what's good? Northside for life, niggas. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Tracy, I see you. How you gonna be watching? You know what I'm saying? 95.3 WHGE, 95.3 FM. That's where radio station we on. You dig me? Yo, cousin. Cousin Jug. Yeah. Death and destruction. Yo, I see you.
WHGE 95.3 FM, Nsoromma, streaming on all platforms. Go and get that.
That's right.
That's where.
Go get yourself some energy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Open your mind up, because that's what we're here for. Okay, did you hear about the black woman? Her husband was being arrested, and she was, videotaping it,
yeah.
Right? And the cop came over there and body slammed her. All right?
How ignorant do you think that is?
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you like this. Considering where it happened, the city of Lancaster, California, okay? This is an area where cop brutality, okay, is the norm. Lancaster, California is known as the Confederacy of California.
So why it ain't burnt down?
Yeah, how about that? How about that? You know? Right. The part of Southern California where a police officer was shown on video violently attacking an unarmed elder black woman has a reputation for racism that previously came to a head when a pair of black men were found hanging from the local trees in recent years in suspected lynchings. This is what goes on in that city, so it's no surprise. An investigation has been opened in the instance of the documented police violence against the unidentified black women whose only apparent offense was recording officers handcuffing her husband after the two were incorrectly suspected of stealing. A report came from stealing a cake.
A cake. Yeah,
from a grocery store. Now you get body slammed for being falsely accused of stealing a goddamn cake from a grocery store. And they take Dylan Roof to Burger King.
Right, and that's you can compare that to see how injustice that is. Mm-hmm. And if you feel as though that's not injustice,
there's something wrong with you.
I was getting ready, so you was getting ready to have to boot me.
I heard that. I heard that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that's crazy. But then you want respect from us as a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
You get none.
None.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely none.
That's just the way it is.
That's word.
We have fear of being nice.
Mm-hmm.
Our life is in danger when we cooperating.
How about that?
We can get killed for our constitutional opinion.
Yeah.
Constitutional opinion. You know what I'm saying?
How dare you talk back? See, and that's the thing with these ego-tripping, soft-skinned, cowardly, racist-ass cops.
Ooh.
Okay?
Oh, man.
You know? And, the deputy who was shown slamming the black woman in the incident from last month also kneeled on her neck in a traumatic imagery invoking the harrowing police murder of George Floyd by Derek Chauvin.
That's what they train to do to black people. I've never seen them do that to one white person.
No.
One.
No.
You can point out one white person they treated like that. Mm-hmm. And, Jane Elliott tell them, if you want to be black for a day, put your hands up.
Yeah.
And nobody put their hands up. So they know what's going on. And they're agreeing with it. So it's like, hey, it's all of y'all. Is it really all of y'all? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You better stand up and let people know that you're not like that. Or you're going to be accepted like that. Mm-hmm. And that's messy. That's why the world's so divided right now.
That's right. And that makes me segue into this. Stop telling us there's no racism. Show me the video of white officers throwing elderly white women to the ground. As a matter of fact, show me any color officer manhandling a white woman. All officers seem to understand respect, empathy, and courtesy when white women are involved. For some reason, that courtesy isn't extended to black women. Black women, you know what, I gotta apologize, but this crap has gotta change. And I promise, if I'm around, it will. You can bet that. I don't give a damn. You know what? I would hate to be in a position, you know, where I see a cop or any person abusing a black woman. You know? I'm gonna tell a story that, okay. I remember a friend of mine, right? We were in New York, and he saw a pimp abuse a black woman.
Right.
Okay? And this affected him so much, okay, that he swore that from then on, he would see the demise of pimps. Okay? Anytime he ran into a pimp, that pimp's life was in danger, just simply for being a pimp. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's the feeling, you know, that we should have towards anyone that abuses a black woman. You know?
And that's the feeling that we got towards police officers.
Right.
You know, and then they want to come in our community and patrol with that attitude. They don't even, when you're a police officer in the community, you're supposed to know some neighbors. Yeah, they bring people from other countries and stuff and make them police officers, and they don't even speak our language, but yet they can beat us up and clunk us in the head with the billy clubs and shoot us and tasers and all these other things and don't get in trouble.
That's right.
Who's the one that's accountable for that? We got to make them accountable.
We got to make them accountable.
We have to make them accountable.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. One of the most exasperating experiences that most black people have to deal with is being told we are oversensitive about race. We are too quick to play the race card. That the racism, bigotry, and discrimination that we clearly see is no impediment or simply it isn't there. Basically, black people are being told that their intelligence, perception, and ability to understand and analyze their own reality has no validity. That's crap, y'all. What is so often seen as bigotry from black people is anger and frustration and the desire of white supremacists, okay, to claim that they are oppressed. It's the silliest crap you ever heard. In the face of some of the worst bigotry and racism in modern times, when a teenage boy is blatantly murdered and his killer walks free, when two young people in distress seeking assistance, black skin was found so frightening by white people, they were shot and killed. Black people are expected to believe it is mostly a figment of our imagination. Yeah, right. If you just ignore it, it'll go away. See, they're not so much concerned about racism, they just want you to stop talking about it. Get over it. The most sensitive phrase in the American lexicon. Get over it.
You never heard them say that to the Jewish people?
Hell no. Ain't nobody asked y'all to get over 911. Okay? Well, guess what? I'm going to ask you right now. Get over it.
Wow.
That's word. Because comparatively, 911, 3,000 people died. During the slave trade and the 100 years of Jim Crow that followed, millions of black people died. Get over it.
Wow.
That's what. Yeah, that's a phrase that burns like acid in your ear when it's directed at you, don't it? When it's directed at black people, it drips with the inequity that is a nullification of the most basic expectations of humanity. Get over it. A phrase that can only be uttered from the fairy tale existence that is cushioned by white privilege. I'm so tired of hearing about the race issue. Another phrase that can be uttered from the comfort zone of white privilege. Guess what? Black people have been tired of dealing with the race issue for centuries. Yeah, back in 1967, Dr. King said, I'm tired. Tired of marching for rights that should have already been mine in the first place. Black people have been tired for too damn long. How nice it would be to walk through a department store and not be eyed with suspicion. How nice it would be to apply for a job and be judged on the qualifications. How nice it would be to be an absolutely law-abiding citizen and not get nervous or fearful when approached by the cops. How righteous it would be in the midst of distress to seek assistance and expect humane, charitable treatment and not have to fear for my life. When black people say they are tired of the race issue, they mean they are tired of dealing with the racism, discrimination, and bigotry that we are forced to deal with daily. There is no choice. Racism that at minimum is an inconvenience and at worst can lead to our death. When whites complain about the race issue, what they are really complaining about is the effort, humanity, and responsible behavior required to be outside of the comfort zone that is white privilege. Go to hell.
Ooh.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye.
Yo, you hear him, don't you? You hear him? Bev, how you doing? Everything good? Yeah, I'm making it happen. You know what it is. WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah, that Rona. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Nsoromma.
Yeah.
In the building.
Yeah.
That's
They would have tried to censor that too, but you know we black owned.
You know, I have a question.
Huh?
Why all non-black people, all the white people, Asian people,
Right.
other people want to say the N-word?
I don't know. They act like it's cool. They act like they. I don't know. You know. That's
It's real crazy because let me tell you, you know, I saw an Asian girl, right, and it was on TikTok, and she showed a clip of this brother. I thought about who the brother was, and it choked me up to call this Negro peeing fool a brother. All right. And he calls himself something of the black raccoon or something. Okay. And he wears a raccoon hat. All right. This to tell you how big a Sambo this fool is.
Is he really black under the hat?
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, like, you know. Oh, he can't come to the barbecue. I catch him around the barbecue. I want to beat his ass.
Boom.
That's what. And he's on there saying, if you're not black and you're listening to a rap song, and I don't care where you are, and they say the N-word, then you have the right to say the N-word. No, you don't. Not you don't.
Personally, I think it should be abolished. It should be banned, and you should be charged for saying it.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that. And you know, and I tell you something, that, you know, since the election of Trump, after the election of Trump, all right, these races became emboldened, and they felt the need to give full vent to their bigotry. There are stories all over social media of these people confronting black people, bragging about Trump, and using racial slurs. And some of these stories tell how many black people take the high road and handle the situation with calm and rational. Warning, warning, I am not one of those calm, rational people. I am not always decent or nice. I can be, and I am touchy and emotional sometimes, especially when it comes to my people. You know, I do not handle insults well, and don't get it twisted or be surprised. One of you Trump fools get in my face with your newfound white privilege and call me the N-word, I'm going to beat your ass or worse. You've been warned. Because I'm old school, and like Nsoromma said, you know, I grew up in the 70s, a time when a black man calling another black man the N-word could lead to a fight. Those fighting words, you know. Dude, I remember my sister, my late sister Peachy.
Right.
She went off on this lady for calling our little brother the N-word, and it was a black lady, you know. And the lady said something along the lines of "Get that little N-word out of here" or something. You know, my sister went off on her. Now I rarely use the word now, okay. And I hear what people are saying about taking the words power. You know, we put an A on the end, and we took the words power, and we, you know, use it as a term of affection amongst ourselves, all right? Making it acceptable now. Okay?
That's how brainwashed everybody is. That how can you even accept it for yourself?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just
because it's a word that describes our once wretched survival and the place in the social structure that is white supremacy. So why would you want to term another black man that?
And the word really means ignorant person. So that can be anybody, right?
No. No, you know.
And it's not defined as an ignorant person?
No, that's the definition that white supremacists put on it to try to get us to get a pass on saying that crap. And I'll tell you something else.
What?
All right, about this word. You do not have permission to use the N-word or say it with an A or ER, not in a song, not in a joke, not trying to be cool or funny. It's not cool. It's not funny to use the word because you use the word as part of some wretchedness white people impose on black people. White people are not allowed to use the word because black people do. Whether or not black people use it, that is an intro-family debate. And it ain't none of your goddamn business. Ooh. Alright? You've been warned. And you know something else? You know, that's why I say.
We don't see them going around hollering honky to each other.
No. What's up, my honky?
Yeah, hey, honky. Hey, my honky.
Know?
You don't see them going like, yo, my honky. Yeah. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's
and this little
I
Asian
think they
girl.
laugh at us, man. They always are laughing at us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We do some really crazy stuff.
You know, I'll tell you something. Just recently, entertainment website published a list of white people who are so well accepted by black people, they're considered honorary blacks. Now, of course, there was obvious choices like the late R&B singer Tina Marie. Now, I'm sure every black person out there would say Tina Marie could definitely come to the barbecue. Okay? But she's one of the few. She's a unique woman. And yeah, some black people want to say, Bill Clinton, get the hell out of here. Bill Clinton signed the 94 crime bill. Don't forget that.
Right,
and don't forget, he called Sister Soldier a racist.
And he put the worst bill in effect, didn't he?
Yeah.
That 3 strikes you out as a black person.
That's what.
And you know they only lock up black people. So you get pulled over for a ticket and you have a problem with the police.
Yeah.
You go in the store and steal a candy bar.
That's what.
And you beat your kid and respectfully, and they try to charge you with it. That's 3 strikes. You going for life.
That's what.
And then you ain't even did nothing.
You know. You know.
That was worth a life sentence.
How about that? How about that? You know.
He did that.
Yeah, he did that. So he no. He's not no honorary black.
He played the saxophone and get a headshot. He wanna eat black.
You think
whatever,
no.
Beat it.
You know? Now, I'm going to tell you something about the N-word, okay? Really hit white people, and I know something.
What?
Okay? Never have to deny being racist. They never have to tell you how many black friends they have. They don't need a black pass and are far too hip to ever use the N-word. As for honorary blacks, there's no such thing. They get hip to that. There's no such thing. WHGE 95.3 FM. The Open Eye.
Yeah. Yo, what's good? Camilla, I see you. Good way to tune in. Sherry, I always got into arguments with idiots who support that man as a black. Oh yeah. You talk about Clinton, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. How can he be black? He white. It don't go together. So they don't go together.
What he white dude from Arkansas?
He from Arkansas, brother Pat said. Yo, I tell you, we got some stuff with us. Yes, Clinton. I knew. I figured that. I figured that, Sharon.
WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma still here
in the building.
Yeah.
You You know, in 1960, the revolutionary leader of the Congo, my namesake, Patrice Lumumba, was overthrown in a bloody CIA-backed coup.
Wow.
Yeah, the coup and Lumumba's subsequent assassination robbed Africa of one of the continent's greatest Pan-African anti-imperialist leaders. Now, 40 years after the murder of the great Congolese leader, Patrice Lumumba, evidence emerged in Washington that President Dwight Eisenhower directly ordered the CIA to eliminate him. All right? The evidence comes in a previously unpublished 1975 interview with a minute taker at an August 1960 White House meeting of Eisenhower and his national security advisors on the Congo crisis. So in 75, okay, the person sitting there taking the minutes on the meeting exposed what these people said about Patrice Lumumba, that he had to go. Okay? And you know what? It's something that Africa, not only the Congo, which was which is probably the most resource nation in Africa, a continent full of great resources, has still not recovered from the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. Because Patrice Lumumba, being the Pan-Africanist great leader that he was,
right,
would have changed the whole scope and understanding of colonialism and our fight against it. Because Patrice Lumumba, who was influenced by Marcus Garvey, by the way,
right,
he was of the mindset Africa for Africans, right? And that's the mindset that we need even today, all right? And you got to realize something with these colonizers do. When they can't convince the people to turn against African leader who is for Africans, okay, they send in the jackals. And what the jackals do, they assassinate this person. You know, they first try to, well, let me just tell you this. Don't forget the legacy.
They try to buy you out.
Yeah, first they try to buy you out, and then they try character assassination.
Yeah.
And if that don't work, they just go ahead and kill you.
Go ahead and get you. Oh, you die in a plane crash, poison, but act like it's just, allergic reaction to something. They can make it however they want, man.
Right. Yep.
You ever see the movie Tournament?
Nah, I've never seen it.
Well, you gotta check it out.
Okay.
And in the movie, it's just like they gave all the contestants a chip in their body.
Okay.
And the last one standing won $10 million. And the government ran it.
Okay.
So you gotta peep it. And
okay.
they tell you how.
That sounds like this other movie, and I can't think of the name of it, where they had to play this game that was almost childish. Right? And if you didn't make it through the game, you got killed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the Congo is somehow one of the poorest countries in the world. But its mineral wealth is estimated to be worth $24 trillion. Resources which countries and multinational countries ruthlessly exploit at the expense of human lives. If you want to know, you know where the height of humanity is with these billionaires, okay? If you want to know where the depth of humanity is, go to the cobalt mines, where they have children mining cobalt so we can use these goddamn cell phones. Ooh. Yeah, but we're coming around, but I got you. One of the things that always comes up, of course, is our education. And I made a post earlier this week, okay, where I said, if you are not liberated, your education is indoctrination. All right? And Brother Jardea posted, don't be too impressed by college degrees anymore.
Right.
Graduates are no longer the most educated. They're just the most indoctrinated. Now, I will tell you that I actually know some very conscious young scholars, okay, who had the fortitude to go through the process and not lose their understanding of self.
Right.
Okay? And that's not easy to do. That's really not easy to do at all.
Right.
You know, because maintaining your sense of self in the face of constant indoctrination requires intestinal fortitude that a lot of us just don't possess. And you know, it's the damnedest thing. I could remember a brother that had just got his PhD, that, you know, did things to fight against violence in the streets,
right?
You know, and do things for black family, and he analyzed this and this, that, and the other, you know, and I was gaining admiration for the brother. Until this brother came to me and said, you know, what proof do you really have that the Egyptians were black? Now, at first, I thought the brother was just trying to get a rise out of me.
Right.
Okay? And then I realized during the course of this discussion that this brother had been indoctrinated with that information. He had been indoctrinated to believe that there was a chance that these Egyptians weren't actually black.
But that's what they do.
Yeah.
They make you question what you know is true.
It's that, man. Nsoromma, you hit that nail.
Yeah, they do. That's their whole manipulation. If they can say, okay, if the devil can make you think that he don't exist, that's the answer.
That's the answer.
And they take that and put it to everything that they have their hands on.
And you know, it's something I informed the brother. You know, oh no, I took a course on Egyptology.
Who wrote that course?
Yeah, who wrote that course?
Frankie Bamalino.
You know, you know, that's where. And I informed him, look, Egyptology is not a science. Okay, it's an information control apparatus. That's what that is. It's an information control apparatus.
One more time.
It's an information control apparatus that will have you believe in the falsehood that Europeans actually discovered America. You know, that will have you believing that Egyptology is the truth about Egypt, and that these European scholars who try to whitewash history are actually telling you some measure of truth about Egypt. They're not.
I'm wondering why they haven't poisoned Jane Elliott yet, because she drops the truth.
Yeah,
if you really want to hear some of the truth and some of the history for real, check her out, man.
That's word. That's word, you know. And I looked at some of our scholars, you know, because I have friends that are scholars. For instance, my friend Dr. Payne. Okay, there is no way you could question Dr. Payne's commitment to the black community.
Right.
Okay, Dr. Joy DeGraw. There's no way that you could question her commitment to the truth about what went on with our people. Okay. Now, see, what happens is some of us get economically successful and we get caught up in their world.
They can join the other side.
And they can join the other side and get confused about who they are.
Right.
All right. Which brings me to this. I call this mainstream. Some of you have heard it before, but you learn by repetition.
Right.
After graduating from college, he was recruited by one of the largest, most prestigious investment firms in the country. He was one of only 3 Negroes in the entire firm.
3.
And the first Negro investment counselor. The salary was the same as any white entry-level employee would have received.
Wow.
He lunched with his fellow investment counselors daily and talked shop. Now and then he'd run into a bigot. Usually he would ignore the whole situation. Sometimes one of the white guys stood up to his defense. Eventually, he became immune. Blacks were making great strides, and the firm was moving with the times. 30% of the employees are now black. He was called in for a big promotion, the first black senior investment counselor in the business. Yeah, life was great. He was a member of the country club, a registered Republican, attended an integrated Episcopal church. His was a 2-car family with a beautiful home in the suburbs. He had assimilated quite well. It must have started the day his son told him how they learned about continents in the school that day. How his teacher told his classmates where they were from, Ireland, Italy, and Poland in Europe, but could only tell him he was from the continent of Africa. Where in Africa, Dad? His son asked him eagerly. He told his son all about slavery, how we were stolen from the motherland and were probably from somewhere in West Africa, Ghana, or the Ivory Coast, maybe Mali.
I don't know, son.
Exactly. He told him about segregation and Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X and how much our people were progressive. We could vote and our equal rights are protected by law. Soon, all Afro-Americans would be able to share in the American dream. Yes, he had assimilated quite well. Well, his son accepted the answer and was off to play. But he himself wondered if his answer was satisfactory. Well, maybe when his son got older, they would trace their roots back to Africa. Maybe. One evening on the way home from the club, he was pulled over by a law enforcement officer. He couldn't have been speeding. These late model luxury cars had cruise control. What could be the problem? The officer asked if he could search the car. He was frisked and detained while his license was checked. A humiliating experience for a man of his position.
Right.
However, the immunity he built up over the years sustained him. He never once complained, but the incident made him think about what he told his son about the American dream. For the first time since he graduated, he glimpsed a crack in the myth. For the first time, he wondered if Afro-Americans would ever really be accepted in the society. For the first time, someone had breached the wall of assimilation he had built around himself. It made him feel the pain of identity crisis that is so common amongst our people. Maybe he had excelled far too well at integration. The more he thought about his son, the more he questioned his own identity. He questioned everything from his choice of friends, the majority of which were his white co-workers, to his religion. Did Christ really look like the effeminate carpenter depicted in Da Vinci's Last Supper? The questions were endless, and he never fully recovered from the crisis. He stopped going to the club. He stopped going to church. He alienated his friends, and his career stagnated because he had tried to separate the important social aspect of his career from his personal life. Another soul lost in the rushing current of the mainstream. Old habits die hard. Though many of his questions remained unanswered, he remained a staunch advocate of integration and couldn't understand why his son chose to attend Howard University instead of Harvard. His son majored in marketing, minored in African studies. He could not understand why after graduating, his son moved into the city, opened an African import shop, and started a community center for inner city teens. His son recruited his fellow grads to assist in his job training program. He never knew his son had vowed never to be like him. He would teach his children everything he knew about their heritage, and they would never abandon the community that spawned them. And most importantly, he would never lose his identity in the murky waters of the mainstream.
That's right.
And the statues on campus be watching me. Washington, Jefferson clocking me.
Right.
As if to say my time's up. But I don't run laps on tracks. I run laps around the scholars of tomorrow because their new school thought are merely art history's borrowed. That's from M.K. Asante Jr. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye.
Yeah. Yo, you know what it is. You know what it is. Is it about that time, Pat?
Yeah, we getting
My phone dying. I'm dying out.
I heard that. Yeah. Oh, your phone dying? We right on time.
I got 5%. Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's right. WHGE 95.3, The Open Eye. Thanks for joining us. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building.
And as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority.
Who treat you as an option.
All right, thanks. Stay tuned for Timeless Times. WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah. Yo, you know what it is? Hey, Thanks for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Nsoromma streaming everywhere. Brother Pat.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. And like I always tell you, gas, global African supremacy, because the world was a much better place when the black man ran it, no doubt.
Brother Slaughter, I see you. Good way to tune in with us. You dig me? Yeah. Bill Gates tell us to grow more farms. Buy seeds from him. Nah, we must import, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Streaming all platforms.